Need some more? I can't believe that it's been almost a year since I was in work. Well, I have been in work because I can't keep away, and I always visit, but I'm officially in the uniform and ready to go back and do business.
For the past 12 months, Claire Atkinson's been on maternity leave. Today's her first day back as the manager of NatWest Bank in Huddersfield.
I don't think there's many people in this day and age that can stay at home and look after baby rather than go out to work. I want to be able to do nice things and go on holiday and provide for Jude and stuff, so I have to go back to work. Are you the first one here? Can I have a kiss? Bye-bye. See you later.
See ya. Bye.
It's all real now. I'm fine. He loves it there. You can see the little smile on his face and the ladies are lovely. But the last couple of times I've dropped him off, it's just been for half a day, so it's a bit real. I knew I'd get emotional. It was lovely that I could have this time off with Jude, but I'm pleased that I'm going to be earning my own money as well now. I like a bit of independence when it comes to that side of things. I am a little bit nervous.
Claire's coming back to work halfway through the year, and it's just 6 months until her branch's profit figures feed into the bank's all-important annual results.
I like to be able to see where my branch is doing in relation to other branches. So I definitely think I've got a real competitive streak when it comes to that.
Claire's been a manager at NatWest since she was just 25, but it wasn't her first job.
When I was little, I wanted to be an air hostess, but then I got a job as an air hostess and the pay were terrible, so I declined it and then got a job working in a bank instead.
What do you want?
Claire's maternity cover for the last year has been Deputy Manager Claire Blakey.
Are you excited? Well, not properly, but I had tears.
Oh my God,
I'm going to get emotional talking about it. Because you weren't bothered.
I didn't think you could cry.
Welcome home, Big Claire. It's nice to see things like this.
Banks have always made money by lending money, but with interest rates at an all-time low, NatWest has asked Claire to focus her team on lending in her first month back.
Is that everyone?
Once a week, the staff at the branch gather for training.
Just looking at customers who already have short-term borrowing, that's 1 in 3 of our customers. That's not counting the ones who probably have a borrowing need. And even those who do have borrowings, did you know that of each £10 of borrowing, how much is with us? Only £3. So we've got a great opportunity.
If the bank is keen to lend, customers are keen to borrow too. Household debt in Britain has never been higher and now totals £1.47 trillion.
We talk quite a lot about what kinds of things customers might want extra money for. So I just went on the internet last night and I've just come up with some of the average costs for certain things. Should we start with cosmetic surgery then? So braces.
I think the 1,000 for braces.
Boob job.
That was what I said.
475. Do you know what? I love how everybody knew the answer to the boob
Yeah,
job.
how come you all know the answer to a boob job? There's not much that you can do really in this world without cost somewhere. Could just go running naked on the beach, couldn't we? But we live in Huddersfield, so we've got no sea. So I'd have to go quite far away to get to a beach to run naked, and the cost of petrol, so that car journey will have cost me a lot of money, so I can't even do that for free.
That's not 14,000 for the new car.
Mel, you're on fire this morning. Could we instigate and help a customer with any of these needs?
Every single one.
Every single one of them. And we've got a fantastic opportunity in the branch right now to speak to more customers than we've ever spoken to before about how we might help them. So have a fantastic day and let's go and get open.
Okay, thank you.
We're a bank, aren't we? And we want customers to take money from us, and I actively encourage my team out there to look at customers that might need our help with loans, because I know that we can make people's lives better or give them something that ultimately they might not have thought they could ever have until they speak to one of my customer advisor team.
Hi, is it Ali? Hi, do you want to come and have a seat? Sorry to have you waiting.
Richard Wilkinson is one of 6 customer advisors at the branch who spend much of their time talking to the people of Huddersfield about loans, credit cards and overdrafts.
I want to buy a car and I need some money.
So money, a loan for a car?
Yeah.
Well, what sort is it? Not that it matters for the loan, I'm just being nosy. We lend money for pretty much anything. As long as it's nothing illegal, we pretty much lend for out. What have I done? Lent money for a boob job in Thailand. Travel to Thailand, have a breast enlargement, travel back. That were about 8 grand, I think. Obviously, if somebody come in and said, I'm a professional gambler and I just want to borrow 20 grand to see me through a weekend, then that we'd apply a bit of due diligence and say, no, that wouldn't be good lending. 10,000 over 5 years or 60 months. Yeah, probably able to do a decent rate, 7.4%. £198.77 a month. Happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Right, OK.
You know, we rely so much on technology, don't we? It would have been easier to bloody hand count it. I had to start again because it spat out a double note and reset itself.
Although the figures are a closely guarded secret, Clare's branch, like every other, has a target for annual profit.
We have a target to achieve. It's called contribution. The contribution's a measure of how successful you are as a business. We did used to focus on lending loads and loads pre-2008, and then we kind of stopped talking about it because the world wasn't in a very good place, you know, and we needed to kind of rescue our relationship with customers, so it kind of took a backseat. But it's come back now because, you know, we're in a position now where we can lend to customers. If we do lots of loans, we will make more money because we charge interest on the money that we lend out. We are a business. We need to make a profit, just like McDonald's needs to sell lots of burgers because they need to make money.
The money made by the 1,300 branches will make up a large part of the bank's profit-loss figures at the end of the year. No bank needs to make a profit more than this one. RBS, which owns NatWest, was bailed out by the government during the 2008 banking crash. And it's still 79% owned by the British taxpayer.
There we go. Very much. You will get the odd comment about, oh, well, you're still government owned, you know, and that's kind of like sometimes a cloud hanging over your shoulder. Hi, how can I help?
I just hope we can get out of being owned by the taxpayer as quickly as possible. You don't want to be the bank that, well, you're 80% owned by this, so every time you do something, they're debating about you in the paper.
For the government to sell its shares with the best chance of recovering the taxpayers' money, the bank needs to make a profit. But every year since the crash, it's made a loss.
Come and take a seat.
If the bank is going to make a profit this year, a large part of that will come from lending money to customers on Britain's high streets.
You've got an existing loan and we're topping it up?
Yes.
By 4,000?
5.
5? Were it for a used car?
Van. This is for a
Used van.
Good morning.
All right.
Melanie Farah, come through.
We've just done a new kitchen and spent a bit more than we thought.
Right, yeah.
Plus I bought a reg plate for the car, which I shouldn't have.
Oh, did you? Was it for anybody's special birthday?
No,
then?
it was just for myself.
Fabulous.
So your total amount of borrowing, it's going to sound a bit scary, will work out at £20,236.80p. I know it sounds a lot, doesn't it? But I suppose if it gets you what you want.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
Go for it.
Right, let's do it then.
Do you want to actually borrow another 6, or do you want me to look at 5,600?
Another 6.
Another 6, so
Yeah.
taking it up to 12,400.
Yeah.
Yep. Get rid of that loan that you've got with us at the moment.
Yeah.
6,383.
It's not mine or my staff's job to say, you shouldn't buy them trainers because you can't afford it. That's not what we're here for. I'll tell my own family and, you know, I can lecture them on it, but it's not my place to lecture, you know, the world as to what you shouldn't do in terms of borrowing money.
The amount I borrowed's 12,300 and you pay back 13,400.
So, I think we've more or less finished now, if that's all right with you.
So you don't get something for nothing.
Right, thank you very much.
Okay, take
See you later.
care.
Average household debt in Britain has reached £55,000. and the average credit card bill is £2,300. Brian and Elizabeth both bank with NatWest, and they've run up large bills across several credit cards.
Elizabeth went to get a car service last year and came out with a new car.
Yeah, we tend to do things like that. I don't think it's real, is it? Because it's plastic. It's not proper money.
There's about 4 or 5 credit cards I've had. And I've got about 20 grand, 22 grand on the credit cards between them all. I've got 2 NatWest cards from NatWest Bank. I don't know how I ended out with 2, but I did. So I've got 2, a silver one and a gold one. I think as you get older, you also look at life and you think, well, you only live once, you know, and at the end of the day, what's the use of living like a pauper when you can go and get things?
What is it designed for?
Scandinavian barbecue house, so you can have big barbecues in the middle. Entertainment, basically, but, yeah. I just use this as an office because it's easier. These are about £6,000 to buy. One bike. It was about 3,000 when it was bought. You all right, Benji? We got him for, what, £250? Took up kayaking, so we had to get some kayaking equipment. I think the fridge cost us £200 and something. And I buy the occasional guitar. It's all the little things that stack up and then the occasional big things you have to buy. It's been quite an expensive, few years. Not helped when a few weeks ago you opened the fridge door and the door off the fridge fell off. And,
that was my fault, the fridge door fell off.
Yeah, and the tumble dryer packed up and the spare oven in the kitchen went wrong. So, yeah, sometimes, obviously, you don't have the money at hand. So what do? You stick it on a credit card.
Brian and Elizabeth are worried they've lost track of their monthly repayments. They want to see if they can get one loan to pay off all of their credit cards.
We reckon we're paying probably about £500 a month.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Cards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's
the largest part is interest.
Interest.
Isn't it?
Yeah, you're paying the interest.
Mr. and Mrs. Reeves, how are you? Nice to see you.
They're seeing Leanne, one of the customer advisors.
Got the NatWest cards. So your NatWest ones are 7,059. And then which one have we got?
The old Asda one.
Do you know what the interest rate is on your Asda one? 20.67%, isn't it? Yeah. You should go to Tesco's, that's 3,255.
Is that the Barclay card?
No.
Mine. Don't know where that's come from, though. And then that's finally Elizabeth's card, because she never gets a statement. She says she owes that on her card.
£26,645. And you're paying £634 a month.
Ouch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even knocking the bill down, is it?
And it's not going anywhere.
Brian and Elizabeth have underestimated their credit card debt by almost £5,000.
Things like that.
It's a lot of interest.
Yeah. Now, the maximum we can lend on a personal loan is £25,000.
Okay.
Even the largest personal loan available won't pay off all of their credit card bills, and £1,500 will have to stay on one of the cards.
It's £200 saved every month.
Yeah, it's good, that, isn't it?
Wow.
It's a lot of money. That was interest we were paying. Dead money. Just going out of the account.
It's £2,500 a year.
Yeah. It's a lot of money, isn't it?
It really scares me that, like, you come across individuals that have got credit card balances greater than £25,000.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
All of these different financial institutions need to take some responsibility for that. Maybe we were at fault in the first place for getting them that balance, but then I think there's nothing wrong in us then moving that onto a loan at a much smaller rate, and it does save the customer loads of money in the long run.
The loan has reduced Brian and Elizabeth's monthly repayments by £200. In return, NatWest has acquired all £25,000 of their debt. Brian and Elizabeth will repay the loan over 6 years with £5,500 of interest. Customer advisor Richard Wilkinson has been helping customers get their finances in order for the last 10 years. Only now is he starting to listen to his own advice.
I'm skinned, to put it professionally. This is cheap lunch. 6 bags of these for about 89p. It's all about saving money. I tell customers to save money, and then personally I've tried to save money. And I have a child now, so it does make you think a little bit differently about responsibilities. You've just got debt, and then something happens major, you're going to have a problem. Used to be a little bit frivolous, buy things on a whim that I didn't need. But I am better now. I will think, you know, do I need something? I bought a digital weather station type of device. When you turn it on, it just lights up. It tells you things like what the temperature is now inside and what the temperature is outside, because there's a sensor outside. So you get up in the morning, think, well, it looks cold out there, it's all a bit white and frosty. You can have a quick look at this. Oh, Jesus, yeah, it's -7. I think I told my wife it were about 20 when it came. She said, how much have you wasted on that? Which she weren't too happy about. But it was actually £45. I don't keep many financial secrets from my wife, but that was one. And there is one other thing that I've been looking at, and it's going to be one thing that I think every home is going to have soon, and that is a drone. You think you've got a slate loose on your roof, but like me, you might not like heights, so you don't want to be going up a ladder. Just get your drone, up it goes, flying over your roof. Oh, yeah, look at that. There's a slate blown off. I'll need to get somebody out to fix that. Just think of the uses are endless.
Hi, is it Miss Perry?
Yes,
sorry,
it is.
Sorry to have kept you to come across.
Thank you.
So we're looking basically at extending your loan.
Yeah. So you've come in for a bit of a review today, is that right, yeah?
A bit of review and possibly some advice.
OK.
I've just started a new job, so I'm now being an adult finally.
I'll just bring up your direct debits and things. Oh, they're in NF, so that's brief, isn't it?
You get that way when you get older, you don't like all your money.
Because I was considering taking out a larger loan in order to sort of pay off that one up front and then have it if it's a better interest
Well,
rate.
have a look, which is your best option.
Yeah.
We're really quite horrified, very proud as we are of our grandchildren who've worked, but we think their attitude to money is quite wrong.
What I'm doing initially, I've just put in to borrow.
Yeah.
Obviously, it comes up to 1,750, just rounds it up slightly to repay your existing loan, and then give you in your hand 3,250, so you're lending there £5,000 all in all.
We saved up and waited till we got things, and it seems to me they seem to want everything today.
OK, brilliant. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome, thank you.
I thought I was going to borrow £1,500, but I've ended up borrowing an additional £3,000. I'm going to get a new iPad so that I can FaceTime my mum all the time and actually work and connect to the internet.
I think it's a very general thing with young people now, and it's sad, and I wonder how the country's going to survive. Look, I'm not going to be here to see it.
We'll never not be interested in savers, but I definitely think that in general at the moment it is a lending world rather than a saving world.
Cahill traces his money problems back to when the bank first lent him money 12 years ago when he was a student. He now lives with his partner Sarah and 4 of their 7 children.
Possibly the origin of my debt could have been the high student overdraft limit I was given while I was at uni. I pretty much whacked it very, very quickly. It was OK for then, but then when I became an adult, and it became an adult account with adult interest, it became a monster that I couldn't keep control of, really.
Cahill ignored his £1,600 overdraft and mounting interest until the bank passed his account to their debt recovery team. After 18 months of being unemployed, Cahill has a new job and wants to sort out his spiralling debts.
It's very hard for the children because they don't seem to understand conceptually how our lives are, really, and they don't seem to understand when you have to say no to them all the time just to keep your family, to keep food on the table, you know what I mean? So I just really want to be able to give them what they really deserve, and in the last 2 years they probably haven't gotten what they deserve, and I really want to sort of give that to them.
He knows he needs to pay us that money back, and he's coming in to see me today, so I can ring through to our recoveries team to help set some kind of plan up so he can start to pay us back what he owes us. So in terms of setting up a repayment plan and things like that, it's not actually me that does it. I do have to ring through, but what I wanted to do, I thought if you came with some figures and things. So before we ring them, do you know what you would be comfortable to start paying back?
50 or 60 a month for now.
Leanne, it's Clare. I'm calling from a branch of NatWest. I've got the customer with me who I'll put on the phone. Do you want to swap seats with us?
I've got a list of outgoings in front of me here. 20 for gas, 20 for electric, 10 for water. Food and housekeeping, 130. Got Virgin Media.
That comes in with the bill.
That comes in about 50 quid a month. Yes, school meals are £30 per week. Thanks very much, Leanne. All the best. Bye-bye.
So, I know we haven't actually set a plan up today, but kind of made the first step now, haven't you, with making contact and things?
Yeah, it's sort of a real burden off my shoulders, really.
Right, well, if you've got nothing else, I shall leave you to get on then.
Thank you very kindly. I was never a person who had much money growing up. And to have, you know, a bursary give me £3,000 here, a bank give me a £1,600 overdraft, I did not have the financial responsibility to know what to do with it.
We give students overdrafts under the presumption that, you know, at the end of your degree, you're going to get into full-time work. So by the time you're required to pay back that overdraft, you should have a steady income coming in.
Part of it was me and my immaturity, and part of it was NatWest's frivolous marketing to students around that time. They were marketing to you on the posters like it was free money.
I don't believe that it's very good for people to be given that much anyway.
I was a student. I was happy to take it.
Yeah, but as a student, you are going to be happy to take it,
Absolutely.
but you know, it's the wrong thing to do.
It could be, but they do need that hand when...
I understand they do, but they also need to be able to be taught how to manage it as well.
We're adults, we need to do it ourselves.
Not the point. You're not. You might be adults, but you're very young adults that get that sort of money and think, well, hey, let's go and party.
Yeah,
which everyone in their right mind's going to do.
I did that.
We don't say to the individual, oh, here's some free money, spend it and don't worry about paying it back. We do set out, you know, what the terms of the overdraft are, and we have it word for word, and then they also get literature to take away. So it's not like they go away and they discover 3 years later that they need to pay it back. It's all right saying that though, isn't it? But when you're a student, you just want to get drunk and have a good time and do your bit of studying in between. So, you know, I think we've got to all maybe be a little bit better.
Then it was all luxuries. Now it's all debt. Pretty much.
No luxuries.
And no luxuries. And as a sort of a word of advice to anyone, there's no such thing in this world as free money. It'll always come back and bite you in the end, so...
Well, it's obviously good for the bank if we're in debt, because we're paying the bank interest. So the bank are earning. So, of course, that's good for the bank. But that's good debt. Obviously, if we overstretch ourselves and we can't meet those payments, then that's bad debt, so that's not good for the bank. Yeah, come and have a seat. Sorry to have you waiting there.
Richard's next customer, Anne, has got no money in her account. She's been refused an overdraft and is facing regular bank charges.
At the moment, if you have a direct debit set up and there ain't enough in, the bank will reject the payment, but they will charge £6 for rejecting a payment. There is a facility you can put on called overdraft control. Everything works the same, except the bank still won't pay it because there ain't enough. But because you've got this overdraft control facility on, the bank won't charge you that unpaid £6.
Yeah. I must have had about 6 or 7 charges this year.
Yeah, so that's all done, as simple as that.
Right, OK.
Yeah, jobs are good unless you need out else.
Yeah, an overdraft, but you won't give me one.
No, well, they won't, it's not me, is it? I know this credit scoring stuff, isn't it?
I know.
I'm thinking, well, if she knew what my savings account was, we'd be embarrassed.
A series of major events in Anne's life have left her struggling for money each month.
Got the house repossessed. So from there, it's just been a downward spiral. And then I had to give up university and give up work because my son got attacked and ended up with brain damage. Ideally, if I was able to, I would like to keep £50 all the time in the bank there as a fallback. That stopper, that little reassurance that were there would be lovely. At the moment, as you notice, I've got 58 pence. So...
How much money do I need? Not a lot. Enough to pay my mortgage and pay my bills and buy food and maybe go out for a few drinks when I can get a babysitter.
I'm thinking 1.5 million would be that sum of money that you could stop working at my age, you could buy a big house, buy a big car, treat your family, pay your debts off, and then have enough money in bank to sort of live on and go on loads of nice holidays.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, it would be. Yeah.
In 4 months, the bank will announce its annual results. For the branches to be profitable, they can't rely on short-term loans and credit cards. They need longer-term loans too, and that means selling mortgages.
I do love coffee, I must admit. Hopefully it's going to be a good day and I'm going to have lots of appointments.
Gary is the branch's mortgage advisor. He's been selling mortgages for almost 20 years.
What we're trying to do today is obviously drum up some business, you know, just make people aware that we do mortgages. You know, we've not done any for a while. So I think with the big coffee cup outside, they think what's going on there and they'll pop in for a coffee and a chat.
After the 2008 crash, it became clear that many banks had been lending mortgages irresponsibly. Now with buyers feeling more cautious and stricter rules on lending, mortgage approvals in Britain have fallen from 3.3 to 1.3 million a year.
Business can't survive without new money, and that's the bottom line. We can't continue just looking after existing customers that have an existing mortgage with us because we're not growing the business.
I just came in with my brother and they asked me if I'd like a coffee.
Yes.
I didn't realise it was for a mortgage.
We met friends here who were having a coffee, which was a nice part of the deal.
Are you discussing your mortgage today?
No, I have no mortgage.
What is it what you've come in for?
Some detailed and direct debit.
All right.
Some help again on the mortgages, that's all right.
Mortgages,
Yeah.
that would be really.
Yeah.
Before joining NatWest 5 years ago, Gary worked at several other banks and as an independent mortgage advisor.
If you go back 10 years ago, then things were a lot more relaxed.
We just said, yeah, how much are you earning? I'm earning £50,000. Oh, sign here. You know, and we've got a document to sign. Yes, that's your income. We never checked. You know, so is there any wonder we're in this mess at this moment in time? And there's lots of stories like that, you know, where lenders were probably lending money that they shouldn't, you know, shouldn't have done in the first place. And then obviously we had the big crash where then people couldn't afford to pay the mortgage back, and then repossessions, etc. So now
we ask a lot more questions and we go through their bank statements like, you know, tooth and comb.
Sebastian, nice to see you. I'm Gary. Do you want to come straight through?
Yep, I'll do.
Sebastian is a first-time buyer.
What is your salary then, Seb? Have you brought any pay slips?
I have, indeed. When they're coming in to see me, they're all excited, but at the same time, so nervous as to whether they can get that mortgage. And within a couple of hours, I'm going to have actually made their dreams or dashed their dreams, you know, and it is as black and white as that.
So here are the new questions. So these questions are all relative to the type of mortgage you may or may not want. Got no other debts. Dependents, we don't have any. Currently, you're living with family, and you've got no bankruptcies against you or anything like that. Any outgoings such as like credit cards, holiday loans, car loans, and no maintenance payments or anything like that? There's no children in the background?
Not that I know of.
Fantastic, good. Now it's looking at every single direct debit or every standing order or every transaction that's on there. There was one occasion where there was a debit going out for Honey Pot, and I had to say it because I'd just read things out and I went, so you've got Aviva, Legal in General, Honey Pot. What's Honey Pot? It seemed that the customer had a subscription to some sort of raunchy website about honey, I think. Yeah. I checked it out later anyway, yeah. It weren't honey. I'm recommending an overall term of 27 years and 11 months, as that obviously meets your budget of the 550.
Sounds like a prison sentence.
It does, doesn't it? OK, so are you now happy for me to do a credit check on you? Yeah.
Do it.
The credit check part really doesn't come towards the end of the interview, so, you know, we've probably, during that 2 hours, I know all about, and they know probably all about me as well, and got on really well, and then it is a press of a button. You know, it's my little Simon Cowell moment where I go, press the button, it's either yay or nay. OK, here we go. Do you want me to turn this around?
Just close my eyes.
Let's turn it around and let's so I'll get myself prepared for it. You'll be fine, I'm sure, but fingers crossed, it's all passed. Well done. Excellent.
Champion.
Well done, Seb.
Bang on.
That's what I like about the job, really. Making people's dreams come true.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank
Sure
you.
you out.
Who likes to be in debt? I don't. Yeah, it's crap growing up. Yeah, it's a big step for me, like, so that's first part of growing up, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a shitload of money.
As house prices have soared and mortgages have been harder to come by, many first-time buyers have struggled. 25-year-old Farid's been given the chance to buy his rented council flat if he can get a mortgage.
I would like to rid of this furniture and buy new table, new furniture. And I want to put this time table and 2 chairs there. So I want to sometimes have my breakfast there and see the outside as well.
Farid's flat is worth £41,000, but with his right to buy discount, he could buy it for just £20,000.
Tomorrow I go to the bank, and if I get my mortgage, beautiful, I will be happy.
Farid fled the war in Afghanistan when he was just 17.
I came as asylum. I came with the lorry passing the border without a visa or passport. It was just scary as well. You don't know where you are. You don't know where you're going. They take you. They brought me here. They left me. I don't know where I was. After that, I went to police station. I couldn't speak English, nothing.
8 years later, he's got his own building business in Huddersfield, but he's still getting used to the importance of money in British life.
You drink in water, you have to pay. You want to park your car there, you have to pay. You want to go see someone, you have to pay. Everything is pay. Back home, everything is free. Until you come here, you never understand. And they always thinking, oh, their life is easy. They've got electric, they've got gas, warm house. They're not thinking, wow, if you want warm house, you have to go outside, work hard, and come back and stay in warm house.
Hi, Farid. Hiya.
Gary is used to turning down customers who want to borrow too much on their mortgage. Farid wants to borrow just £16,000, but this is below the bank's minimum mortgage limit.
The minimum you can borrow is 25,000, and now I'm not saying to you you have to borrow 25,000 because I'm not pushing you into borrowing that money. If you want to borrow extra for home improvements, fantastic.
If Farid borrows an extra £9,000, taking a larger mortgage and extra money for home improvements, he'll get very close to the 25,000 minimum.
How come they're not giving that much money we want?
There are costs to us in setting this mortgage up. So there has to be a minimum amount.
Only I need £16,000.
Well, there you go then. Can't help you at all then, can we? You know what I mean? Yeah. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that okay? Thank you for coming in, Farid.
No problem.
I'll give you all that back. If you need me, just give us a ring. Other than that, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If I take that 25, nearly £10,000 is extra. So with £10,000, what I can do, and I have to pay interest for that £10,000, so it's not worth it.
Scared off by the idea of borrowing nearly £10,000 more than he needs, Farid will have to look elsewhere.
Hopefully on the high street he'll find a lender that will lend him the minimum that he needs, really. So good luck to him. Seeing a nice chap, we can help most people, but then that's an example of a customer that we can't help, for the right reasons, obviously.
Some of the biggest and most profitable loans agreed by NatWest are handled by their commercial and business banking team.
Good news is it's valued up at $735,000.
Tim and his boss Dave work with businesses that turn over more than £2 million a year.
It's a different animal to lending a retail loan. We've got 20 clients who borrow more than 50 million on our team, so it's not common, but it's not that unusual. 250 is the very top end, but 50, 60, 70 million is relatively common.
Today they're going to meet local property developer John Radcliffe, who wants to borrow almost £500,000.
We have a long history with National Westminster, or NatWest, and I'm sure they do want our business, but they have to remain competitive.
Knowing John as I do, I expect the negotiations to be maybe a tad difficult, but we know our bottom line.
Tim and I have sort of looked at the deal together. We sort of know what we want the deal to do for the bank. 450,000 is the small end of our range, but it can lead to a much bigger loan. I'm not interested in one deal, I want to do a series of deals, so it needs to be a win-win negotiation. It works for both parties.
Tim and Dave want to look round one of the finished homes on John's luxury housing development before agreeing any loan.
So, dining kitchen, Way through into the garage.
Lovely stone. Is it artificial?
No, it's granite. All underfloor heating down here as well, so you maximise your space and you get a better ambient temperature.
Nowhere to hang your washing, though?
No.
The new houses range in price from £250,000 to £1.5 million.
It's all been kitted out by our interior designers.
You can imagine yourself just living here, can't you?
Of course, yes.
Box is too tidy for me.
It's not my bag, but this is the Vivian Westwood room, I'm told. Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's fantastic, John. Really good. Really, really good. Very impressed.
Over the last few years, they haven't really wanted to lend money to the property sector at all, particularly the development sector, where there's any amount of risk. Therefore, they were unresponsive and uncompetitive, which is why the whole thing ground to a halt.
What do you need? What do you want?
I would like you to consider a facility for £500,000.
Is 3 years long enough, or do you want to lock it a bit longer, 5 years, say, with the income against it?
I'd like to have both, so I can compare the terms.
We'll give you both options. I mean, it's slightly more expensive 5-year book, and we're trying to, only for the top clients, we'll try and bring some of the old corporate flexibility into this sort of stuff, which is why I'm keen to meet you.
Well, actually, David, that's a breath of fresh air, because that's not how it's been for the last 3 years, really, is it?
Good. I'll get golf in the diary. Whatever.
It's always nice to hear.
Come and carry my bag.
I'll carry your bags. I know my use.
Now we're more flexible. I was keen to support Tim and tell John that the world's changed now and we can do more for him, and hopefully then we can do a lot more business with him.
With a loan of this kind, negotiations can take time. Tim and Dave will now crunch the numbers and come back with what they hope will be an attractive loan offer for John.
We would try and operate without a bank, simply because there are fees involved and interest payments. If we can do it without the bank, then we will. However, in the nicest possible sense, they become a necessary evil when you can't structure the deal like that. And in that respect, we need them. But on the other hand, any bank needs to keep lending because that's what boosts their balance sheet.
Hi, Johnny. Nice to see you. How are you doing? I'm Gary. Nice to see you. Do you want to come through?
It's October, and 3 months until the profits from Clare's branch will feed into the bank's annual results.
We've had an amazing week. The activity levels have absolutely shot through the roof. And this week, so far, Gary has done 6 mortgage applications, which is really, really good. We've done just shy of £770,000 in mortgage business. Any mortgage money that we take in, we earn interest off it, and that'll help us with our contribution figure. And if we are hitting our contribution figure and everyone else's, it means that we're getting one step closer to achieving our goal.
But more mortgages means more work for Gary. In recent years, mortgage advisors have been under increasing scrutiny to ensure that their customers can afford their mortgages. And for Gary, that means a world of paperwork.
I'm just going to do a bit of admin now. So when I do my admin, I make sure that nobody disturbs me. It's never been so much regulated in all my mortgage life career as it is at this moment in time. Everything I say, everything I write, everything I type into that machine, it's picked up somewhere. Just this tiniest little thing, or I'll lose my thread, and then, somebody will pick it up and think, you've not done that, Gary. So I just like, total silence. The mortgage advice that we were given was not effective, basically. We didn't ask enough questions, and that's how that may have affected the affordability of a mortgage. So we were fined, I think, something like £14.5 million, and we got smacked hands, and we were told to put our systems right, basically. There's that many parts to this mortgage that you've got to check. If I don't do things in a regulated manner, I'll lose my job. There'll be heavy fines for me, heavy fines for NatWest, loss of reputation. At this point in time, I've never felt so much pressure in my life. It affects your family life, it affects how you think at work as well.
Farid's plan to buy his flat has stalled because he wanted to borrow less than NatWest would lend for a mortgage. A year ago, his plans to buy his flat fell through for a very different reason.
I got everything ready, money was there, paper, everything done. A few days later, I heard from one of my uncle. His wife became ill and she lost 2 kidneys. Back home is different until pay. They now send you to hospital. They don't care if you dead your life, they don't care. She was nearly dead. And I think maybe this is God's plan. Just maybe God want to test me how I am. Can I help to human or no? I stop everything. I send money to her and nearly £10,000 was all my save was everything gone. After that, bad times came for me. I don't have money to go buy food. I become in debts as well. I didn't pay my rent. I haven't got the money and these people said to me, you have to leave the house. Because I didn't pay the money. That time I did little work and I got some money and I borrowed some money from friends. And I paid them money, that was £1,000. And slowly I work and I got the money back.
Fearful he'll miss out on buying his home again, Farid's decided he'll take a larger mortgage and borrow £5,000 for home improvements to get his mortgage request up to the NatWest minimum.
Hiya Farid, how are you doing? All right, nice to see you again. Do you want to follow me? Yeah. Got all your stuff?
Don't know why my feeling said, come back here, I don't know why.
It's a good feeling, isn't it? Sometimes your gut feeling, you know it's right, don't you? You be trusting that, that's fine. Obviously, we use a different approach when we're doing mortgages, you know. Right, you've been trading for 2 years now.
Yeah.
So that gives us an average of 9,692 as an income. It's about £700 a month in your hand. Is there a sort of figure in mind that you were looking to pay per month?
Okay, go for 200.
If you're looking to pay £200 a month, we're looking at a mortgage term of about 12 years, which is great, but it's not affordable, according to the figures that you've given me today. If you had that income, and then you've got your gas and electric and all your other bills to pay, what have you got left over? So really, we've got to be a little bit more responsible and get the payments to an amount that we know is affordable to you.
Yeah, if go for 100.
Pay £100 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can probably take the mortgage over a longer period of time, and therefore it's more affordable, and therefore it does pass the affordability calculator. It would mean you're probably looking at a term around about 30 years to do that.
30?
30.
30?
Yeah.
Wow, that's...
Yeah, initially. But you want to pay £100, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you want to move this forward now?
Yeah,
then?
go.
But even borrowing the extra money for home improvements, Farid's still just below the minimum for a mortgage. Gary will have to ask for a special exception from higher up the bank.
I don't want to get your hopes up too much on this. As soon as I hear, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
It could be today, it could be tomorrow, don't know.
That's fine, no problem. Just if you want to call me, I will come back, no problem.
Brilliant, brilliant. Good.
The bank's annual results will be announced in 1 month. Claire knows that for her branch to be generating profit, she needs customers through the door, and for some of those customers to be taking out loans.
This is all of our customer advisors have got a diary.
When Claire's team have gaps in their appointment diaries, she has them pick up the phone to customers.
The prospecting tool is just a list of customers who might benefit from something. So we might have a list of customers who are paying a really high interest rate on a credit card. So the advisor will ring a customer, get some service feedback, and then just say, well, actually, the reason I'm calling is I've noticed this.
Today, they're calling customers who already have debts with NatWest or other banks. They want to talk to them about new loans.
I want to concentrate on lending money, so I want to click on the loans part of it.
They're looking for customers who might like a lower interest rate in return for bringing their other debts to NatWest, increasing their existing loan or taking out a new one.
We've got people who are nearly finishing with the loans, so it might be they don't realise that they're near to finishing. So again, we might be able to talk to them and say, well, is there anything else you're wanting to do now you've done this? Because they're not going to miss the money, it's been going out on a regular basis.
So it's not exactly cold calling people in that we've got a relationship with them.
Just had a quick look on your account, and you are using your overdraft quite a bit, aren't you, at the moment?
Hi there, it's Richard from the NatWest in Huddersfield. Are you all right?
So you've been off sick, you've done your backing, and now you've got a cold, and you're trying to get your house done. What an absolute nightmare for you.
It's just a courtesy. We tend to ring customers up at this time of year just with a view to inviting you into the branch to sit and have a chat and a coffee, look through your accounts, see if we can save you any money. There could be times I've felt, you're definitely helping, because there's always that danger. You could refinance somebody's debts together, get that overdraft and credit card and load onto one big loan. And there's a danger they will then run away and build that debt up again. Come into the Huddersfield branch and ask for me, Richard. We'll go through all your accounts and your direct debits and your ins and outs. See you later. Bye then. Bye. But it's difficult for me because if somebody's paying 20% on a credit card and 20% on an overdraft, and they can have a loan at 7%, it is mathematically better for them to do.
For now, Richard's still curbing his spending and he's resisted buying a drone on eBay. Instead, he's found more ways to save money.
I make my own wine. Well, I don't make my own, I buy a kit and follow the instructions in the box. It's more money saving again. Works out about 90p a bottle. I've a bit of every kind of debt. I've got an overdraft, I've got a credit card, I've got a loan, I've got a mortgage. I think credit cards were invented for people like me. I'm led by the consumer culture that, you see the latest stuff and then you want it. And I just don't have the willpower to think, oh, yeah, I'll just save up for that for a few months. Can't wait that long. So obviously the banks love that, so they can make a bit of interest out of me. You can easily be addicted to spending. You can be addicted to all. I don't think even the French can do wine better than this. In the past, and I go back before all the big crash, you might have a credit card limit with £2,000. The banks were writing to you back then saying, oh, as a good customer, we've increased your limit from £2,000 to £5,000. So if you had two credit card companies with two different banks and they're both doing that, you could soon easily have going on for £20,000 worth of available credit in credit cards, as easy as that. And that were wrong. I've had credit limits put up to crazy amounts. Don't get me wrong, I've spent that. That's my choice. I'm fully responsible. But I think it plants that seed in your mind that if they've raised your limit up so much, if you're perhaps a little bit weak-willed with stuff like that, as I have been, you've got that temptation. Oh, it smells good. That smells fruity. That's lovely. I think banks are getting it about right now. I don't think they're too strict. I think they've found a sensible level. They do a few more checks, and I think they're getting it right now, to be fair. She's going to like that.
"73-year-old Patricia has come in to see a customer advisor. She's got problems with her feet.
What is it that you've come in for today?
See if I could have an overdraft for a few months.
OK. Is it for anything particular?
I'm going to have to go and see a chiropodist.
All right, OK. How much were you looking for?
£400 or £500.
I can't do that much, I'm afraid. The maximum I could do would be 200. Would that help you out at all, or...?
Well, yes, it would help.
If we refer back to 2008, where the world went pop and we were in the financial crisis, lots of bad decisions were made in the world of lending.
Have I seen you before?
Possibly.
Because I do remember you, and I am conscious that the amount that you pay out with your bills, and obviously the loan that you got at the time, that I'd probably be doing more harm than good if I applied an overdraft facility on there. I really don't want to do something that is going to put you in a worse position.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't have asked if I'd have thought I was going to do that.
Do you get your state pension monthly?
Yes.
How much do you spend on your shopping?
Between £200 and £300.
Right, let's go with 300. It works out that you get, on a monthly basis, £837, and I've calculated £850. I can't put an overdraft facility on knowing that I'm not really going to leave you with any sort of leeway. I'm really sorry.
It's all right, no.
All right.
Well, I'm very sorry I've wasted your time.
No, you haven't wasted my time at all. I have to know that it's right for the customer.
you'll say it's not right, then I don't want it.
I feel awful. I'm going to go home and cry now tonight.
No, you've no need to feel awful.
I know, I do though, but...
No, I mean, it's my fault.
I think we're really, really fair now in terms of making sure that if a customer's going to have a loan with us, that they can absolutely afford to repay that loan, because obviously we need to get the money back. But if they can't keep up to date with the payments and it's going to put them in financial difficulty later in life, then absolutely we shouldn't give that money.
A little bit disappointed, but the bank know best.
I felt awful. Keep trying to help her. When I've seen her before, I've told her that she can go get help with her rent, and she's obviously very proud. She just won't claim for anything. I have to be cruel to be kind sometimes.
It's been 3 days since Farid's mortgage appointment, and he's waiting for a call from Gary.
Hello?
Hiya, Farid. It's Gary Tetlock, mortgage advisor at Huddersfield. Hiya, I'm not so bad, thank you. How are you? You OK?
No, I'm not that good. I'm OK, thanks.
I put a case together for you and sent it up to the unit. Now, we've had an answer back this morning. I'll put you out of your misery, Farid. It's all been agreed.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for helping. Thank you very much. Thanks.
It's a pleasure, Farid. I'm glad we're able to help.
Bye-bye. Done. Oh. Still, I'm not believing. Sometimes when you're thinking, oh, this is never gonna happen, when that happens, you're feeling really crazy. Your heart playing something like this 10 times more than usual. And you can't believe it.
I do this job not for the money, but for the kick that you get out of it in helping people, you know. Just that one little word has made all the difference for this gentleman. You know, when I saw that email this morning, I had a little bit of a thing going up my back. I don't know what it was. But yeah, hairs on back of my neck stood up a little bit when I saw it, because I thought, yeah, that's brilliant, and that's the right thing that we should be doing for him.
When the bad day pass, when the good day come, you said to yourself, worth it. That day wasn't the day, so today is the day. I have my van, I have my business, and I have my house as well. So I have everything.
Today, RBS, which owns NatWest, announces its annual results. And Claire will find out whether the money made by her branch will have helped put the bank in profit for the first time since the crash of 2008.
Royal Bank of Scotland has announced another big annual loss, £3.5 billion, following the £9 billion loss a year ago.
But it's complicated with this bank. If you set aside the costs of scaling back their operations abroad and fines for things like mis-selling of PPI, the bank is actually making a profit.
Chief Executive Ross McEwen told me that despite the huge losses, the main retail bank, which includes NatWest, was actually making money.
£3.5 billion profit. That's the best operating profit we've had since the financial crisis.
And despite the overall losses, the government's now announced it's going to sell its shares in RBS, even though it's very unlikely to recover what it paid for them. But Claire is focusing instead on the money made on the British High Street.
Has anyone looked at the results?
We should be proud.
We should be proud? Why is that?
Because we've made a profit.
We've made a profit, yeah. It gives a clear indication that we're getting towards Ross's vision for 2020, which is what?
We're number one for customer service, trust and advocacy.
2020. Do you know what? It's like brownies. I promise that I will do my best. Yeah. we've actually grown the business. So I think we should give ourselves a pat on the back. Well done. Oh, should we all pat Amanda? She felt left out there.
I know, I did.
Oh, it's really good, isn't it? I think that it shows that we're all doing hard work on the front line to see customers, meet needs, and then that obviously goes on and through the different levels to help us to make a profit overall. So yeah, it's really good. Right, I need to go now because I need to go and jump on my till because it's busy and I'm needed.
Got my happy Christmas list here. Sorry, Bobby, mate, couldn't borrow a pen.
Yeah, of course you can, buddy.
Oh, cheers, mate. Thanks for breaking. I'll bring it back to you. Cheers, bub. Last Christmas I was unemployed, so I feel like I'm making up for lost time. My budget for the kids this year is about 125 quid each.
That's one done already. What's a nerve done?
I can't really afford to spend that much, but I don't really care because it's all about the kids. Debt management can wait as long as it gets done, which it will. I'm going to make sure my debt management gets done, but the kids come first, and always have to.
We had a board meeting last week. We decided not to go for the loan because the houses have sold better and the funds that are coming in from the ones that we've sold will cover any shortfall required and therefore we don't need NatWest money. That one?
They're the cutty up ones. Right.
One more card to cut up. We were told by the bank to keep the 2 NatWest cards as emergency cards, basically. They want you to spend some money, because that's how they make their money, isn't it?
I don't think we'll ever have that situation again where Brian has 6 credit cards and I only have 1. Will we, Brian?
No.
No, I don't think so.